first thing I wanted to cover off with you is the sort of current mortgage market. You know, we both deal in property as such, you know, me with the selling of properties and yourself with financial side of things.
Yeah.
There's been a lot in the news at the moment about bank of interest rates going up and up and up, and cost of mortgages going up as well.
Yeah.
Just wanted to kind of get your take on it, really.
Okay, so the mortgage market over the last 12 months has been pretty volatile. Interest rates moving up relatively high in October quite quickly, and then throughout 2023 have generally seen falls in mortgage interest rates against the backdrop of the Bank of England consecutively increasing interest rates. So it's always a good question to ask why that is. I think probably the best way to answer that question is not in a short video like this, but to get in touch with a mortgage advisor or a mortgage broker that you trust, to ask them to explain to you why interest rates are so volatile when the Bank of England is pretty consistent going up and mortgage interest rates are flying all over the place. Over the last 6 weeks, mortgage interest rates have gone up again quite a bit. They seem to have plateaued, and over the last week or two they've seen in the press that a lot of banks have started to announce interest rate reductions. They're very small, so don't get too excited. However, cumulatively, month on month, those small footsteps of interest rate reductions will hopefully, if they continue, start moving into some more noticeable changes if you look at larger periods of time.
I did see, I know the news, they like to go with sort of one extreme to the other. I think I posted one myself, a news article, I can't remember who posted it, but mortgage rates being slashed and this and that, and again, you see it and it seems like a real positive, but probably not quite an accurate term to use by the sounds of it.
They like extravagant words. So when interest rates are going up, they get hiked. So, you know, 0.25% or 0.5% apparently is a hike. I wouldn't class that as a hike, I'd class that as an increase. And then, you know, 0.05% or 0.1% down the other side of the slope is a slash. Again, it's a bit of an optimistic term. It's great that they're using positive language. However, it's probably going to take a little while for people to notice the difference.
Fine. So I think, I guess following on from that, what sort of advice are you giving generally to home movers at the moment? So someone that's looking at selling their property and buying a new one, or first time buyers,
Okay.
you know, are you sort of advising them to maybe go for a 2-year fixed, or are you sort of urging them to go a bit longer? I know it's all sort of circumstance dependent, but sort of generally what are you pushing towards at the moment?
Very much circumstance dependent, because everyone's got their different situations. Somebody's just moved to their forever home with some young children with high childcare costs and all those kind of things, can have different mortgage needs to a first time buyer, a couple who are just moving in for the first time together. Everything's financially exciting but also a little bit insecure as well. So there's different advice there. Regards to home movers, which is one of the points you picked up on, I'm kind of, some home movers say to me, is it a good time to move and all those kind of things? And for me, my main answer to it is yes. If you've got a need to move home, something that spiked your interest because something's changed in your life, which means you need to move home, then you need to move home. And I suppose arguably, is it a better time to move home when interest rates are high? And therefore you know you can afford a high interest rate, so going forwards, although interest rates could be higher or lower, you're probably thinking, well, in the long term, my mortgage is probably not going to be more expensive than it is today, probably. Whereas when people stretching themselves when interest rates were 1.5–2%, that was a much riskier time to be making that move. So to be moving home with a mortgage payment that you can afford when interest rates are relatively high, I would suggest is going to put you in a relatively secure position going forward.
Okay, thanks for that. And I think sort of similar question in terms of the remortgage market. So, you know, people that aren't necessarily looking to move, but as you've said, perhaps were fixed into a 1.5% mortgage, you know, caught it when interest rate was super low, and they're now perhaps being a bit scared with the current mortgage rates. What sort of conversations are you having with remortgage clients?
Yeah, it is a real tough market for those guys at the moment. I can't lie about that. You know, people who are coming off the back of a 2-year fixed rate, they're obviously feeling the pain at the moment. If they've moved home or they remortgaged to do a big home extension 2 years ago or something along those lines. No one foresaw what's coming around the market with these interest rates. But again, you really need to sit down in front of a good mortgage advisor, have a good chat with them about what your options are, around the different types of mortgages available, what your options are around the mortgage term, and realistically see what creative options there are available to help you adjust to these new higher rates of interest that we currently have. Most people will get a letter through or a notification on their app of what interest rates their current lender has got available to them. And those interest rates are A, their current lender's interest rates, and B, a mirror of their current terms and conditions, the repayment mortgage that they're on, the term that they're on, and all those kind of things, where you sit down with a good advisor and they will talk you through the rest of the market, but B, any flexible options that you may have to make those new mortgage payments a little bit easier to manage.
Yeah, I guess, are you pushing people more or advising people more into fixing mortgages, or are we sort of leaving people on variables as the best option at the moment? Or again, I know it's circumstance dependent, but
yeah, it's really tricky. Fixed rates are improving than they were. Obviously, the Bank of England base rate, the last increase that had was only 0.25%, where previously the increases have been 0.5% at a time, which may suggest that that's starting to plateau off a little bit with a slightly smaller increase. But everyone's circumstances are completely different. You have some customers who will say, my interest rate has gone up. I appreciate I might be able to get something cheaper in a couple of years' time, but likewise I don't want anything more expensive, so I'm definitely having a longer term fixed rate now, because that's right for me. And I have other customers who will say, well, I can afford the higher cost of a short-term mortgage, and I'm willing to take the gamble that things could be cheaper in a couple of years' time. I understand the risk that they could be more expensive, and for those people, they might take a shorter-term option. So yeah, it's very much dependent on the person.
And just kind of, obviously that's the mortgage side of things. From your business side of things, what else do Infinity do other than mortgages?
Yeah, so from our side of things, we're full financial planners. We're kind of bit of a financial concierge service. If you need mortgages, life insurance, home insurance, pensions, investments, we can put you in touch with our contacts on commercial mortgages, bridging loans, pretty much anything financial. It's good to pick up the phone to us first. If we can't help you, we've got a great network of client people around us to make sure we can help you all of your needs. But yeah, we look at the whole what you'd expect, everything that a financial planning organisation does.
Fantastic. And we're sat here today. It's the first time I've been here. We're in your new offices, just opened today, I believe.
That's correct. Yeah, latest offices. Yeah.
So not a huge move. We're about 200 metres around the corner from where you were before. But what was the reason for the move?
Reason for the move: more prominent location in town. We had a large supermarket move to town about 10-15 years ago, and it really changed the dynamic of town with where the shoppers shop and where kind of nice independent retailers are and things like that. So we decided to move to this end of town. The business location and the building meets our brand and our clients' needs perfectly well. So it's great for our clients to be welcomed into. Come have a cup of tea with us, talk about your financial needs and how we can help you. And it's also a great location for our staff to work and be proud of where they work and things like that.
Fantastic. And then lastly, if people do want to get in touch with you, they've seen anything in this video, they want to talk about a mortgage, they want to talk about, as you said, sort of anything financial really, how do they get in touch?
Yeah, obviously you can just look us up on Instagram, so at Infinity Financial Advice. Our website's Google Mortgage Advice Stourbridge. You should get us pretty easy, so it'll be obviously infinityfinancialadvice.co.uk, and all our contact details are quite nice and easy if you search those things.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for your time today, James.
All the best.
Really good to see you, and we'll catch up again soon.
Super. Cheers.
Thank you.